हेलो हेलो। अरे भाई ये लोग ऑनेस्टली बहुत ज्यादा वो है, दिक्कत है भाई इसमें। ये ओबीएस अपडेट होता है, ओबीएस अपडेट होने के बाद कुछ भी होने लगता है भाई। नाउ गुड गुड। व्हाट इज अप दिव्यांश? Nothing much. I mean, today I just wanted to go over Summit. A lot of people were asking me about Summit, my thoughts about Summit. So I was like, Summit के बारे में ही कुछ करते हैं, you know. How are you, sir? How's health? Good, good, good. Doing fine. How are you? बारिश का सीजन चल रहा है, मॉनसून। तुम्हें कैसा, तुम्हारे उधर कैसा है? इधर तो यार बारिश ही बारिश है, ऑनेस्टली नॉट फन एट ऑल। इट इज फन व्हेन यू आर लुकिंग just from your window, but not fun because you can't go out even for a walk. It's just बहुत बहुत गंदी हालत है इधर तो। मैंने एक्चुअली कहीं पे पोस्ट भी नहीं किया कुछ भी। इट वाज हैपनिंग इन सिलीगुड़ी टू, नाउ इट स्टॉप्ड। सही है भाई। सिलीगुड़ी टू स्टॉप्ड। यार इधर भी अभी रुकी भी तो है यार, अभी रुकी भी तो है। इट्स जस्ट कैसे समझाऊं मैं? हाउ डू आई एक्सप्लेन इट? रुकी भी है बट एट द सेम टाइम चालू होती है बंद हो जाती है, चालू होती है बंद हो जाती है। लाइक इफ यू आर ऑर्डरिंग फ्रॉम इंस्टामार्ट फॉर एग्जांपल, उसमें वाइल जब तक तुम ऑर्डर पूरा कार्ट ऐड करते हो तब तक चेंज हो जाता है वेदर। अभी ऐसा चल रहा है, तब तक वेदर चेंज हो जा रहा है, सो आई डोंट नो। तो व्हाट रिव्यू जी का डिफेंस साइड इन सबमिट ऑफ आरक्यू या एफएस के गेम का? आई टॉक अबाउट देयर डिफेंस साइड बट आई नॉट वॉट रिव्यू एनीथिंग टुडे। आज हम सिर्फ सबमिट की बात कर रहे हैं। इट विल बी अ वेरी शॉर्ट स्ट्रीम, 1-2 घंटे की। एंड देन बेसिकली we'll move forward with, we'll do a word review by Wednesday or something, you know. I'm trying to become a bit regular. Sir, how are you? Hi, Shri Krishna. I'm good. How are you, brother? Hey, hey, push, push. Bro, I just saw, I logged on to Twitter to post the live के बारे में अभी just, and I just saw the most insane tweet. Rocket, who's like a reporter or a newsbreaker or something, he mentioned about, okay, his sources saying that Cloud9 will not continue in Valorant. Literally, the CEO and the founder of Cloud9 commented, you got a bad source on this one. Cloud9 is committed to Valorant. Someone underneath has commented, what's your source? People are asking the owner of the company what their source is. सही है भाई। Goes to show anything goes भाई, anything goes these days। कुछ भी हो सकता है, कभी भी हो सकता है। While we are here, just ऐसे ही जब तक people come in थोड़ा बहुत। Simar bhai is in playground, you know, very happy for him. He's in Elvish Elvish Yadav's team. I personally watch Elvish Yadav content a lot. I don't know if you guys think it's good or bad. I personally like it, so I watch his content a lot. So I think best best है सिमर भाई के लिए. I haven't seen the episode today as an episode released today, but I have been watching. I watched the first three episodes of Playground. Um, I watched a little bit of Alliance because when Vanshaj was there, I think he's still there. I've watched. I think the last episode that I watched, he was still there, and yeah, I mean, it's great to see people from esports going into mainstream. Even in Playground, the fact that I wanted to highlight was in PC esports, from PC esports, like if you see esports बोल लो, gamers बोल लो, PC वाले content वाले लोग बहुत कम जाते हैं ये सब shows पे, you know. I was talking to some of my friends, players, people. Summit G comp any good? I think it's decent. See, personally, say again, everybody sees Valorant in a different way. So I'll talk about the G comp. Like personally, like I have a different comp that I personally think is a more ideal comp for something like Summit. But again, it's to their own benefits. Whatever they are playing, it suits them. That's why they're playing that. But yeah, I feel like PC gamers don't go to these shows a lot. Playground, I think, is the base of these content shows. If you go do well or win Playground, you get a chance to feature in higher shows. How the preparations for ENC going? The preparations for ENC haven't started. Players are playing their individual like ranked. If you see DC and all, they're streaming while playing ranked and stuff. They haven't started because you have to understand we still haven't gotten the go ahead of the plan that we've submitted. Once we get the go ahead of the plan that we've submitted, then we can proceed with the prac. Plus, you have to understand these guys have no org, they have no pay. If we start now, विल यू रिटेन अभी जो हम सिखाएंगे या सीखेंगे वो 2.5 महीने बाद वो रिटेन कर पाएंगे क्या यू हैव टू आस्क योरसेल्फ दैट क्वेश्चन इट्स नॉट ऑल अबाउट अरे गधा खटनी करो गधा खटनी लाइक सिर्फ हार्ड वर्क से मतलब नहीं होता है द हार्ड वर्क नीड्स टू ऐड वैल्यू एज वेल इफ यू आर वर्किंग हार्ड but it is not adding any value to your skill set or to your knowledge or anything, then that's just dumb work. That's not hard work. That's just dumb work. That's just lever at that point. तो you have to understand कि players का भी एक mindset है. Players को हम तब से प्रैक करने बोल सकते हैं जब एक clear picture रहेगी. And ideally, you would say give or take, we'll have 2 months of prac. It's not like we can't have 3-4 months of prac because again, मतलब कोई सेंस ही नहीं बनता 3-4 महीने क्या प्रैक करोगे तुम ईएनसी के लिए वी डोंट नो the teams that are going to come against us. Okay, we can't prepare for 15 nations right now. 31 nations, sorry. 31 nations के लिए हम prepare नहीं कर सकते. So you have to understand at one point, it's like you have to give the players their room to do whatever they want, have an off time, and then prac for 2 months. And I think that's enough. 2 months of prac is a lot for ENC. Um, Out of which a sizable part, like 20 days or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, should be boot camp, which will again benefit us more. So that boot camp part is the main part. That boot camp जो prac होगा 3 से 4 हफ्ते का, that will be the main crux of our practice. यार ये नाइट मोड को मेरे को सुधारना पड़ेगा मतलब बहुत कुछ डाला हुआ था पहले से I think I have to do a lot with all these things. Yeah. Well, first of all, Did you see the detective game on VCT Pacific? Detective game? No. I watch matches. वॉल मैच देखता हूँ बंद कर देता हूँ मैच देखता हूँ बंद कर देता हूँ I saw what happened with the Ascension Americas. Oh, that is just sad. That is just very sad. That is just so sad, bro. Why is the screen black? I'm waiting. Thoda sa. We'll start with the tiers and stuff. So basically today, hi Vortex, hi Madhav. Why aren't there more gamers in playground than either PC, mobile? वही मैं बोल रहा था कि with PC gamers and everything, we don't go to a lot of these guys don't go. So, but you have to see the template. Vanshaj was a PC gamer. वो गया look at how he's taken advantage. See, obviously, it's Vanshaj's credit कि उसने वो advantage लिया जो उसको audience मिली. But you also have to understand कि वो audience मिलने के लिए he had to go to those shows as well. Abhinav, even like Adit Minocha. Adit Minocha, I think, was like season one, two. I don't know. I didn't watch Playground then, but again, these are guys who used to make content based on PC, not mobile content and everything. But other people, I know stigma है. Even esports players को भी offers आते होंगे तो उनके पास भी stigma रहता होगा कि मैं यहाँ पे जाऊंगा मेरी image का क्या होगा या कैसा पोर्ट्रे होगा ये वो बट at the end of the day, it's a chance to put yourself in front of a huge audience. So I think players should go. Players, content creators. I love the fact कि Salty and पाजी पाजी का नाम क्या है हर्षदीप या सरदार जी वाईटी yep. They also went. Sardarji Whitey, I think, got selected. Salty was not, if I remember correctly. But they're putting themselves out there. That is how you gain access to a larger audience. And I feel like people should do this more often because अभी season भी नहीं है अभी off season चल रहा है इस समय if you are getting an offer or a chance to be on a show like this you guys should pick it definitely you guys should pick it get out of your comfort zone a little take that leap, or take that gamble of putting yourself out there. And who knows? You never know when you might become someone like Vansha, Jabina, Adit Minoj. Adit Minoj, I think, was big, even though I don't know. But I have had very limited interaction with Adit Minoj, but I love his content. Honestly, I love his content. He roasts people, I think, on YouTube videos, whatever I've seen. But he roasts it within a limit. I think I find it very funny. I find it hilarious. Obviously, I don't watch every video, but like the videos that I have watched, I find it very hilarious. So I feel like Simmer by going there, good, good. You know, are you watching SK Rossi live stream? He's coming live. Man, Rossi has always been a grinder, so there's no one should be surprised. And bro, he loves this game. If you needed any proof of Rossi loving this game, I think that is proof enough that he loves this game. You know, and yeah, I just hope he's doing well and continues to do whatever he wants to do, whatever he loves. You know, I think Rossi's presence in the scene is very vital, be it as a player, be it even like streaming this, streaming that, or whatever. Like, however he feels, whatever he feels, he should do. I think the fact that he's doing so much is beautiful. Hi, Flail Rosso, welcome. Yeah. Okay, first of all, before the black screen goes, let's talk about pre-summit and like normal. A question that I've always asked is what is the best agent to play in ranked? Where were you like where you like these days? I was at home, I was chilling, I was actually improving my schedule, I was taking care, I was returning. So basically, World Cup के दौरान क्या हुआ? I was letting myself lose a little bit, but I sort of adapted back to my normal schedule of calorie deficit, this, that, whatever. तो उसमें थोड़ा time लग गया because the body takes time to adapt. No, I was not prepping for ENC. I was prepping for myself, I would say. I have been watching a lot of matches. I have been prepping, but not for ENC per se, just for my own individual self. I think everybody should use this time to individually propel themselves or become better. But yeah, that's why I'm here. I think, and then I mean, I don't want to say, but I felt sick a little bit because the body takes time to adjust to these changes. You know, going from eating normal calories to Sunday 1200, 300, 1300, 1400 calories a day is very difficult. And at the same time, consuming like 80 to 100 grams of protein in those 1400, 1300 calories while being a vegetarian, like the whole diet plan, everything changes, you know, and that drastic change the body needs to adapt. That's why I was not streaming, you know, because of that change a lot of things, you know, end up changing. But yeah, cool. The first question I'm always asked is, what should be the best agent for me or for you, like to play ranked in general? I would say the best agent right now in this meta or whatever meta it might be, it has to be Clove. Okay, and on Summit also it has to be Clove. Best agent anytime to pick right now is always Clove. Why? Like if you know how to play Clove and all, then only pick Clove. But if you know how to play it, Clove, very simple. You have a chance to basically heal yourself. You know, you have smokes, you have DK, you know, and you have an ult, which is similar to Phoenix ult. But the fact is that if you don't find someone, instead of resurrecting, like Phoenix comes back to his original position, you die. You know, so Clove, the best agent to play on ranked now on Summit and like on other maps, प्योरली बिकॉज ऑफ द वाइड स्किल सेट देखो, तुम जब भी कोई एजेंट चूज कर रहे हो ना, तुमको समझ में आना चाहिए तुम्हारा गेम प्ले कैसा है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ देयर इज समवन हु लाइक्स प्लेइंग पैसिव अलॉट, तो उसको क्लोव से क्या ही होगा, वो क्लोव लेके क्या ही कर लेगा. Then he has to understand what kind of passive he wants to play. Then agents like even Veto comes to mind, you know, agents like normal Cypher, KJ, whatever he wants to play come to mind. Even like something like an Astra comes to mind. But तुम्हारे नेचर पे डिपेंड करता है कि तुम्हारे लिए कौन सा एजेंट बेस्ट बेस्ट रहेगा रैंक पे. अपना नेचर देखो कि अग्रेसिव खेलना है, नॉर्मल खेलना है, पैसिव खेलना है, और उसके हिसाब से स्किल सेट देखो कि कौन से एजेंट के पास स्किल्स है. ये मत सोचो रोल, बिकॉज रोल मैटर नहीं करता रैंक में भी. रैंक में रोल डोंट मैटर. व्हाट मैटर्स इज बेसिकली व्हाट यू आर गोइंग टू डू. अगर तुमको अग्रेसिव खेलना है, तुमको समझ में आना चाहिए व्हाट इज द वन थिंग दैट you don't like doing or you can't do. Hi Ved, welcome. So basically let's say हेवन है, तुमको अग्रेसिव खेलना है, ठीक है. तो अग्रेसिव में तुम ये सोचो कि तुम क्या करते हो क्या नहीं करते हो, ठीक है. व्हाट आर योर वीकनेसेस या समथिंग वेरी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड कि तुमको क्या चीज में दिक्कत होती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई कांट टेक फाइट्स अगेन एंड अगेन, या आई ऑलवेज डाई आफ्टर टेकिंग द फर्स्ट किल. देन मे बी जेट वेले, यू नो, समथिंग लाइक दैट. योरू, जेट वेले. एंड इफ यू वांट लाइक कि मैं कंटिन्यूस फाइट करता रहूं, या मेरे को ऐसा रहे कि मैं कंट्रोल करके ज्यादा खेलूं, मैं अपने हिसाब से कुछ भी कर सकता हूं, देन agents like Clove, it's a well-rounded agent, you know. When will the content like before return? कैसा कंटेंट चाहिए बिफोर, बताओ मेरे को. आई एम डाउन टू ट्राई ऑल थिंग्स. दिस मंथ विल बी फुल ऑफ एक्सपेरिमेंट्स. इफ यू सी, मैंने अपना चैनल पूरा क्लीन कर दिया है. ओके, आई स्ट्रीम विंडो कैप्चर window capture. So basically, if you go here, you know, जो श्रीमन डालता था फनी प्लस लर्निंग, हाँ लर्निंग वाला आएगा. फनी का तो पता नहीं भाई, फनी बोन होना चाहिए. वो तो पता नहीं कितने हैं मेरे में बोन्स, मास ही मास है. but I'll try. So if you see, we've actually streamlined the whole channel. तुमको दिखेगा पूरा clean कर दिया गया है channel. If you see here, you know, if you play a few games, I will not likely be playing games with, to be very honest. This channel will mostly be dedicated when does prac start. Prac starts, we'll have a 2 month prac. So prac starts 2 months before ENC, whenever that is. If you see, सिर्फ कोचिंग या वो सब रिलेटेड, यही सब रिलेटेड है, नॉट रिलेटेड टू प्लेइंग एट ऑल. मेरे प्लेइंग और वो सब का कुछ भी नहीं रहेगा आपसे इसमें. इट ऑल बी जस्ट whatever content related to Valorant, but like streamlined content. Flow does not provide any value to team, is just like Reina controllers. Arguable. I would say it's borderline arguable. I think Reina and Clove both can provide value, but I think Clove is better than Reina just because of the fact that they have smokes. For example, Reina's flash can be used, but the smokes, Clove has 2 smokes, and even after death, the ability to smoke, even if that has been nerfed, I think it's a great value addition. Watch parties and not. Do you follow that six guy who won champions now? Yes, Ved. I have seen his content. Sort of वैसा ही रहेगा. If you see, थोड़ा बहुत वैसा रहेगा. वैसा ही कोशिश कर रहा हूँ मैं. Why not watch party? I did not get rights VCT, bro. I do not have a lot of subscribers. That's why we need to grow this channel. I need to stream more often. I need to focus on content a little bit so that the channel grows. Can't we try to make content like him? I mean, I'm down. See, the first thing you have to understand with making content like him is I don't know editing and all. I'm trying. This thumbnail I made somehow. I am not used AI or anything. I just made that. I mean, it's basic only, but like even these things. Watch party on Kick and highlights on YouTube. Yes, I will be doing watch parties on Kick. I will be doing watch parties on Kick. But mostly I'll be focusing on YouTube content. You will see a lot more YouTube content coming out. For example, today's stream will also be converted into video content a lot. For example, the tiers that we'll do, this tier list for normal agents according to me. What review के लिए you will upload video or come live. So I am planning one word review per week on a live stream, and then we'll watch party stuff on Kick, where from we'll take content and put it on YouTube as a video. If you like, I feel like that is the best balance I can find. Because Kick पे watch party करना easier है. So Kick will basically be for all watch parties, not just like Valorant, but like if I want to watch a show, for example, I want to watch Latent, I want to watch whatever, Playground, I want to watch whatever, and we'll convert that. We'll have this channel, and there is another channel coming which will be for non-Valorant related content, for other gaming content and stuff, where we'll be putting content out for that. So I'll be doing that as well. That will be very separate. That is why you see I've cleaned up the whole feed of YouTube here, videos and everything. I know it's a very good one. Can we like make a viewer upload a single or 2 round? Yes, that is also in the plan. So I'll tell you 2 series that I have planned, 3 series in fact. The first series that I've planned is I will make you guys give me like every week. It will be a weekly thing. I want to improve decision making mid round. What should I do? And I do panic in some situations. So how to calm down mid round as a player? See, calming down mid round as a player is to just trust your instincts. If you feel like you're thinking too much during the mid round or you're panicking, the best thing is to switch your brain off. It might sound dumb to a lot of people and even to coaches, but at that point, not thinking and letting your intuition or your inner instinct take over is better. You do what you want to do, then you basically make the play, do whatever has been done. Then after the match ends, look at that play, understand what you did, understand if you could do something better, and just replace. So the next time you're in that position, again, don't think, just do the replacement instead of the original thing that you did. ऐसे कर करके यू कैन डेवलप योर इंस्टिंक्ट, यू नो, जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं कि रिफ्लेक्स हो गया, इंट्यूशन हो गया, इंस्टिंक्ट हो गया, दीज कैन बी ट्रेन्ड एज वेल. We only focus on training our aim, training our tactical awareness and everything. We do not focus on training our instincts, our, you know, intuition. I think intuition and instinct can be trained to a very high degree. That is why you see personally, I do not like the way, I did not like the way VRX used to play. But you have to respect the fact that they are individually so much superior, and it's because their instincts and their intuition is so much superior. They have strat, they have everything, but they always do what they want to do in the server in the moment. They don't look at it from a very analytical point of view. Maybe they do in their minds, but their actions feel otherwise. They do whatever they want at that moment, and then maybe afterwards they can sit down and talk about, okay, we could have done this better, that better. Who are we talking about? Normally, no, we're just talking about what Sinex said basically. So I feel like every player, especially Sinex, I'll tell you, this off season is very crucial. I'll tell you something that I have told people a lot here, like a few people, not a lot of people. And I'll say this out loud कि चैनल का लिंक पिन कर दो. अभी कुछ नहीं कर रहा मैं, दिव्यांश कर दूंगा, मतलब अभी किक बनाया भी नहीं है मैंने. The first thing you have to understand is these 6 months can make or break your next season, because अभी कोई इवेंट्स नहीं है. भारत गेमिंग मास्टर्स है, उसके अलावा कोई इवेंट नहीं है. ENC में you are not there, so you don't have to worry about these things. The first thing you should think is मेरे को अगले सीजन जीतना है, और मैं कैसे जीत सकता हूँ, बिकॉज यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड ENC का लाइनअप ये वो है. तो नाउ आउटसाइड द ENC लाइनअप, जो ENC लाइनअप जैसे एक साथ है, वो लोग पहले भी OG में साथ में रह चुके हैं. वो लोग अगर बिखरेंगे भी तो you understand most of the people are going to go towards their own places, you know. जैसे SA12 के इंडियन प्लेयर्स हैं, RNT के इंडियन प्लेयर्स हैं, और गॉड्स के इंडियन प्लेयर्स हैं. ये तीन मिला के 2 टीम्स ऑलमोस्ट बनी जाएंगी. You also know that, I also know that, everyone knows that. ठीक है, let's not beat around the bush. अभी तुमको ये सोचना है, you should position yourself in such a manner कि तुम वो थर्ड बेस्ट टीम में कैसे घुसोगे ऑन पेपर, और उस थर्ड बेस्ट टीम को फर्स्ट कैसे लाओगे. अभी से ये सोचना अगर चालू करोगे तो पहले ये ढूंढो कि तुमको किन प्लेयर्स के साथ खेलना पड़ेगा थर्ड बेस्ट टीम बनाने के लिए. उनके साथ अभी से खेलना चालू कर दो. यू नो, दिस इज अ थिंग आई हैव टोल्ड अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल. ऑफ सीजन है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि तुम रैंक खेल के वेस्ट करते रहो. मेक अ मिक्स टीम ऑन प्रैक. Just start scrimming with all these international teams. ये वो make use of it. अभी इंटरनेशनल टीम्स चाइना आएंगी सितंबर अक्टूबर में, यू नो, चैंप्स के लिए. ठीक है, उसके पहले अभी ये जो हुआ VCL, ये सब हुआ. अभी भी कुछ टीम्स बूट कैंप कर रही है, इफ यू डोंट नो. अमेरिकन टीम्स बूट कैंप कर रही हैं, यहाँ पे M80 बूट कैंप कर रही है कोरिया के आसपास. यू नो, मेक यूज ऑफ दीज चांसेस. एक मिक्स टीम ही बना के प्रैक पे डाल दो और प्रैक पे स्क्रिम करते रहो. Who's stopping you? You know, no one stopping you. It's because you guys don't take initiative. This is the difference. लोग पूछते हैं ना कि इंडियन सीन बाकी सीन में क्या डिफरेंस है. यही डिफरेंस है. मैं तुम्हें अभी दिखा दूंगा कोरिया के कितने मिक्स टीम स्क्रिम करते रहते हैं, सीजन में भी, सीजन के बाहर भी. अगर ऑर्ग नहीं है, टीम नहीं है, दे आर, वो करते रहते हैं एज अ साइन रोस्टर. जो रोस्टर नहीं है, तुमको तो पेमेंट मिल रही है तो तुम लोग साथ में खेल रहे हो. जो लोग पेड नहीं है, जो लोग साइन नहीं है, वो लोग नहीं कर रहे ना. फिर अमेरिका में ये चलता रहता है, EMEA में ये चलता रहता है, ऑल द रीजन्स. एंड दैट इज परहैप्स व्हाई यू सी इतना अपसाइड. तुम बोलते हो ना, अरे ये तो पिछले सीजन ही Tier 2 में खेल रहा था, ये पिछले सीजन ही ये यहाँ खेल रहा था, अभी अचानक से यहाँ आ गया. अचानक से नहीं आता. वो जो 6 महीने का गैप रहता है, these players play a lot. उस खेलते वक्त they go through growth, they go through networking, people realize how good they are, because इस समय बहुत कम ही लोग प्रैक्टिस कर रहे होते. तो you can get to know teams more intimately, you know, कि बाकी टीम्स तुमको बहुत अच्छे से जानने लगेगी. That is how opportunities knock at your doorstep. That is something we do not do as a region. That is something we should do as a region. And it is entirely up to you guys. Even, see, I don't mean any ill towards your signed roster, but you have to ask yourself, can you win with this signed roster? If you can win, fine. If you cannot win, align yourself with people in a manner which you can win. Don't just कि साइन का रोस्टर है, हम अभी वो क्या नाम है, क्या तो तुम्हारा कुछ नाम है गॉड ऑफ वॉर या कुछ टीम का नाम है ना अभी और का, कि जस्ट बिकॉज वो हमें पे कर रही है हम साथ में खेल रहे, नहीं, अभी से वो कॉन्वर्सेशन चालू होनी चाहिए तुम्हारा. इट्स जुलाई, खत्म हो गया, अभी अगस्त आ गया. जुलाई, जीओसी, हाँ. तो सिंपल सी बात है, अगस्त, सितंबर, अक्टूबर, नवंबर, दिसंबर, यू हैव लिटरली 5 months, गॉड्स ओन कंट्री, क्या बात है. यू हैव 5 months, इन 5 महीने में तुमको इतना ग्रो करना है कि जब जनवरी आएगा, जब सीजन चालू होगा, बिकॉज नाउ यू नो द न्यू सेटअप थोड़ा बहुत, और बाकी रिवील होगा चैंप्स के आसपास, कि 3 कप से 3 चांसेस है फॉर यू टू गो इंटरनेशनल. इमेजिन, यू नो, एंड द फर्स्ट कप विल बी योर बेस्ट चांस. वाई? ईएनसी के जो प्लेयर्स है वो लोग ईएनसी में खेल रहे हैं, ठीक है. तुम लिटरली उनको पूरा टाइम खेलते हुए देखोगे, साथ में खेलते हुए देखोगे, यू कैन ऑलरेडी एनालाइज देम, ठीक है. उसके अलावा जो दूसरी टीम बनेगी, वो लोग कितना ही प्रैक करेगी, बिकॉज वो टीम हमेशा लेट में बनती है. तुम लोग जो लोग अभी से चालू करोगे, यू गाइज आर बेस्ट पोजिशन फॉर द फर्स्ट कप. सेकेंड और थर्ड कप तक वो लोग कैचअप कर लेंगे. फर्स्ट कप इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट कप. फर्स्ट कप इज द बेस्ट कप फॉर अपसेट्स. मैं तुम्हें अभी बता के रख रहा हूँ, 2027 फर्स्ट कप विल बी फुल ऑफ अपसेट्स, बिकॉज लोग उतना प्रैक्टिस नहीं कर पाएंगे. अचानक से चैंप्स में आएगा, चैंप सितंबर अक्टूबर में अचानक से रिवील होगा, उसके बाद भगदड़ मच जाएगी. भगदड़ भी कैसे मचेगी? ईएनसी के जो प्लेयर्स ईएनसी जाएंगे, जाने के पहले शायद ही वो लोग कहीं साइन कर पाएंगे वो, अनलेस दे आर बीइंग साइंड एज अ टीम टुगेदर. तो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द कैपेसिटी टू अपसेट इज बेस्ट फॉर कप 1. तो तुमको अभी से चालू करना चाहिए. यू गाइज, इफ यू गाइज हैव अ कोच, टॉक टू हिम, टेल हिम, ब्रो देखो, हमारा पहला कप जो है वो हमारा टारगेट होना चाहिए. पहला कप टारगेट रखो. एपीएल अगर वो हो रहा है, कब हो रहा है, आई कैन नॉट, आई डू नॉट नो. जब भी हो रहा है, जो भी हो रहा है, वो टारगेट रखो कि वो एपीएल जो हो रहा है, वो एपीएल तुम्हारा टारगेट होना चाहिए एज अ प्रूफ ऑफ योर कंसेप्ट. एंड देन जो कप 1 होना चाहिए, दैट इज योर मेन असॉल्ट बेसिकली. दैट इज योर टाइमलाइन. अब वो टाइमलाइन में तुम अपने आप को कैसे अलाइन करोगे, वो अभी से सोचना पड़ेगा. तुम्हारा लाइनअप अभी क्या है? आई थिंक एनवी, ब्रिलियंट प्लेयर, यू नो. यू आर अ गुड प्लेयर. माका, गुड प्लेयर. जियोन, गुड प्लेयर. ऑनेस्टली, वो लोटस वाली क्लिप मैंने हमने लाइव देखी थी, बहुत अच्छा था, यू नो. एंड हु इज द लास्ट प्लेयर? खिलतुसा, आई थिंक, गुड प्लेयर. सो अभी तुम लोग को बैठ के ये सोचना है कि क्या हम लोग साथ में बैठ के जीत सकते हैं, और कैन यू गाइज इमेजिन योरसेल्फ विनिंग कप 1? If the answer is yes, then start on it right now. If the answer is no, then find how to make convert that answer into yes. It's a very basic thing. तुमको अभी से सोचना पड़ेगा. प्रॉब्लम ये होता है कि अभी तुम स्क्रिम कर रहे हो, पर स्क्रिम का गोल क्या है? तुम्हारे स्क्रिम का गोल क्या है? डू यू हैव अ टारगेट इन माइंड? वो स्क्रिम से तुमको अचीव क्या हो रहा है? राइट नाउ यू गाइस डोंट हैव अ टारगेट इन माइंड. यू गाइस आर जस्ट प्लेइंग. मे बी भारत गेमिंग मास्टर्स टारगेट होगा. भारत गेमिंग मास्टर्स शुड नॉट बी, with all due respect, I think it's a brilliant opportunity for players to show themselves, but भारत गेमिंग मास्टर्स तुम्हारा टारगेट नहीं होना चाहिए. ऑनेस्टली, भारत गेमिंग मास्टर्स के समय लिटरली मिक्स टीम्स हैं, आधी से ज्यादा. कुछ टीम्स खेलेंगी, नहीं खेलेंगी, यू नो. भारत गेमिंग मास्टर्स शुड नॉट बी अ टारगेट. with all due respect, for people who actually want to win, play it, have fun, you know, play to win, but your target should be APL and then Cup 1. अब वो तुमको तय करना है कि तुम वो टारगेट, जो तुम्हारा टारगेट है, कि इट माइट बी गोइंग टू द फाइनल्स, टॉप 2, टॉप 3, विनिंग, यू नो, वो सोचो. और वो कैसे हो सकता है, उसकी तरफ अभी से काम करना चालू करो स्क्रिम्स में. Otherwise, your scrims are wasted. It's literally just waste of hours just because you are getting paid. तुम लोग scrims कर रहे हो, उससे फायदा क्या हो रहा है? Are you guys getting better as a player? If the answer is no, then it's a waste. Are you guys getting better as a team? The answer is no. कोई फायदा नहीं है. Are you guys positioning yourselves? Will you guys stick together even if an offer comes? टू वन ऑफ योर प्लेयर्स, फॉर एग्जांपल एनवी, एनवी को कल को कोई टीम का ऑफर आ गया, क्या वो रहेंगे या नहीं रहेंगे? Yesterday, FNS said the same thing. Next cup will bring a lot of opportunity for coaches, players, all because in T2 they don't have salary cap and so on and so on. I mean, brilliant if FNS said that, but I think it's common sense. With to a point, it's common sense. I would मतलब वही है कि देखो हम लोग भी बहुत चीजें बोलते हैं, फिर वो लोग बाहर वाले बोलते हैं, और फिर बाहर वाले का ऐसा होता है कि बाहर वाले की बात लोग सुन लेते हैं, हमारी थोड़ी नहीं सुनी जाती, कि हमारे लोग सुन के भी अनदेखा कर देते हैं, इन द सेंस कि अरे इसने तो कहीं ना कहीं से सुन के बोला होगा या कुछ। बट द ट्रूथ ऑफ द मैटर इज कि हम भी उतना ही बोलते हैं जितने बाहर वाले लोग बोलते हैं। इट्स जस्ट कि उनके ऊपर ज्यादा आई बॉल से उनके ऊपर लोग ज्यादा ध्यान देते हैं, हम लोग थोड़े नीचे लेवल के लोग हैं। He said T1 pros are going to be really uncomfortable. Yes, absolutely. Not even earning less. T1 प्लेयर्स के ऊपर सारा डेटा है, सारा एनालिसिस कर सकते हैं। दे नो हाउ, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू नो हाउ ऋषि प्लेस। अभी तुम ऋषि का गेम देखोगे, यू नो हाउ ऋषि प्लेस। इवन इफ ही री इन्वेंट्स हिमसेल्फ, जितना भी कर लेगा, यू नो in at the core of his abilities, you know how Rishi plays, Rossi plays, Golu plays, Hoax plays, you know, Techno plays, Venka plays. People don't know the Sinex that will arrive. People do not know the NV that will arrive because you guys won't be able to see NV up until when the tournament comes, when the time comes. उसके पहले तुमको दिखाई नहीं देगा एनवी। ये प्लेयर्स तो तुमको फिर भी ईएनसी में दिखाई देंगे, रॉसी रैंक खेलता रहता है, स्ट्रीम करता रहता है, ऑल ऑफ दीज प्लेयर्स। ऋषि आई एम श्योर वो भी रैंक खेल के स्ट्रीम करता ही होगा जब भी करता होगा। तो तुमको ये सब प्लेयर्स दिखाई देंगे, पर तुम लोग को कोई नहीं, तुम लोग किसी को नहीं दिखोगे। यू गाइज हैव द पोटेंशियल टू सरप्राइज एवरीवन। दैट इज व्हाट यू शुड सोक इन। टेल योर कोच हु इज योर कोच। तुम लोग का कोच जो भी है, मतलब आई डोंट नो कौन है, जो भी है उसको बोलो कि भाई हमको ऐसा ऐसा करना है, या मेरे में ये वीकनेस है। जरूरी नहीं है कि कोच ही बताएगा कि तुम्हारे क्या वीकनेस है, तुमको भी अंदर क्या फील हो रहा है बताओ उनको कि मेरे हिसाब से मैं ये अच्छा नहीं खेल पाता, या मैं इसमें स्ट्रगल करता हूँ। या तो वो तुम्हें अश्योरेंस देगा विच विल रिमूव द डाउट यू हैव, यू नो, या तो तुम्हें तरीका बताएगा टू गेट बेटर, यू नो। He said a lot of streamers are going to make a team play T2 as we all love. He said it's also an opportunity for coaches to show up and show personal interest. See, I am not going to say much. भारत गेम मास्टर तो ये वो, my plan was initially कि मैं एक mixed team बनाऊं, और I'll try to develop those players, you know, in this off season. I'll try to help Seabird. Yeah, I know Seabird. I think he's a good player. But मेरा aim honestly वो था. But the problem is I had started looking for players. I had thought of 4 players in my mind, 5 players in my mind actually. But उनमें से 2 players are already signed, you know. 2 players are already signed somewhere, and 2 players already decided to align themselves for Bharat King Masters with some other players. Now I don't want to meddle, इसलिए मैंने बोला ही नहीं कुछ किसी को भी। बट मेरा प्लान असल में यही था शुरुआत से इस बार कि if I have free time, I want to make a mixed team and keep scrimming the top teams in Asia and sort of develop those players with the concept कि जब season आएगा तब they can get either better opportunities or they can surprise people, you know. But again, I do not I am not someone who will meddle in their whatever functions और जो भी उनका decisions है। रिवील करो। नहीं नहीं, मैं रिवील नहीं करना था, फर्स्ट चलो रिवील कर देता हूँ। आई टेल यू, आई वांटेड टू वर्क विद, आई वांटेड टू लाइक इन दिस मिक्स टीम, आई वांटेड कोहली, आई वांटेड ट्रिनी, आई वांटेड यू, आई वांटेड एनवी, एंड आई वांटेड अ प्लेयर कॉल्ड बम्बो। I wanted these 5 players, you know. These were my 5 players that I wanted in that in that lineup. Me, wow, wow की कोई बात नहीं, दिस इज व्हाट आई पर्सनली फील। मैंने ये सोचा था, बट यू गाइज आर ऑलरेडी साइंड एंड दीज गाइज आर प्लेइंग भारत मास्टर्स. I'm not going to lie and say, if you guys are asking me, मैं बता दूंगा. मेरा ये मानना था ये 5 प्लेयर्स नॉट फॉर भारत गेमिंग मास्टर्स और एनीथिंग, जस्ट टू प्ले मिक्स scrims, it will keep me in habit as well. It will open me up because, see, personally, I have not worked with Kohli for a long time. I have never worked with Trini. I have not worked with Envy. I have not worked with Bumbo. I have not worked with Sinex in a very long time. And even when we've talked together, बहुत ही कम बात की है. I would love to know more about these players. I would also love to see how much I can help them. And while doing that, maybe I will also learn a lot because every player is a different character, a different personality. I will also add those personalities in under my inventory, na. मेरे inventory, see, I am a man of simple reasons. मेरा inventory मैं बढ़ाता हूँ. मैं आई थिंक आई वर्क विद सो मेनी प्लेयर्स जस्ट ताकि मेरी इन्वेंट्री बढ़ती रहे. द मोर पीपल आई वर्क विद, द मोर पीपल और द मोर पर्सनैलिटीज आई गेट टू अंडरस्टैंड, एंड द मोर personalities I am able to understand, the better it is for me as a coach to improve or understand players or even like reason with them and go forward, deal with players, deal with their issues and everything. That is how I look at my personal job. मेरा ऐसा है कि मेरा भी उसमें सेल्फिश रीजन होता है कि मैंने साइनिक के साथ नहीं काम किया, मैंने एनवी के साथ नहीं किया, मैंने इन लोग के साथ अभी काम नहीं किया. आई वांट टू सी कि उनका पर्सनालिटी बाकियों से कितना डिफरेंस है, कितना डिफरेंट है, क्या उनको जो मैं बोलता हूँ उसका इम्पैक्ट ज्यादा हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है. तो आई विल ऑल्सो अंडरस्टैंड कि इन पर्सनालिटी के लोगों को ये ऐसा बोलने से इम्पैक्ट ज्यादा होता है वो, बिकॉज coaches are also continuously learning. If a coach tells you he's stopped learning, he's I don't think he's coaching for the right reasons, because we are all doing it for the love of the game. Obviously, we want to get paid. I want to get paid. Well, pay me, please, whoever wants to pay me. But simple है कि I also want to grow and learn more as I go along. But yeah, फालतू बातें छोड़ के we'll come to very simple summit breakdown tier list. First of all, Clove, absolute best agent to play on not just this map, any map, if you know how to play Clove, because of the skill set. तुम उनका जो यूटिल किट है, जो भी तुम बोलते हो, यूटिलिटी बोलते हो, किट बोलते हो, स्किल सेट बोलते हो, वो जो किट है, आई थिंक इट्स वेरी गुड फॉर इंडिविजुअल प्लेयर्स इन रैंक. ठीक है, very balanced है overall. You have heal, you have sort of DK, you have basically smokes, and you have an ult that resurrects you, so you can keep fighting. So it's a very fight heavy kit है. DK से fight कर सकते हो, heal करके refight करते रह सकते हो, ult से fight करते रह सकते हो. It's very fight heavy, जो I think this is why rank में you see a lot of cloves being picked, because it enables fights a lot. And the added part is कि वो एक duelist भी नहीं है. So the fact is कि किसी ने duelist लॉक कर भी दिया है तो भी लोग क्लोव खेल सकते हैं, ये सोच के कि वो थोड़ा वैसा हो जाता है, बैलेंस हो जाता है, इसलिए लोग क्लोव ज्यादा खेलते हैं. बट पर्सनली फॉर like summit, will go through a very simple tier list. Is my screen visible? मेरी स्क्रीन आ रही है क्या? हाँ, okay. Let's just start. Very simple. We'll start with duelists. Duelists. Let's start with duelists. Honestly, I would say any map, summit or anything, almost all agents can be played for a very good combination. कोई भी combination बना के कोई भी agents खेल सकते हैं. Personally, I firmly believe in that. But मैं यहाँ पे kit के हिसाब से and logic के हिसाब से बात करूँगा. Very simple. According to me, which agents I feel like are better for this map. Now coming to duelists, first of all Jet, obviously no brainer. मैप का लेआउट देख लो. जेट इज गुड. I wouldn't say it's very good because again the fact that Jet का जो kit है it's good, but I would say Vele का kit currently is better than Jet. You can क्या करना है तुमको, अगर dash करना है ये करना है तो again you can get Vele, but Vele के पास वो compensation भी है कि if you want to come back you can come back. ठीक है, Vele के पास slow है, Vele के पास जो अल्ट है उसमें भी स्लो है इंस्टेड ऑफ द डायरेक्ट डैमेज डीलिंग जो जेट का अल्ट है. ठीक है, एंड एट दिस पॉइंट अब जेट का अल्ट के साथ सब ऑलमोस्ट थोड़ा अक्लेमेटाइज हो चुके हैं, वेयरएज वेले अल्ट थोड़ा सा भी अभी भी करता है, यू नो, रिफ्रैक्शन रिट्रैक्ट जो भी बोल लो भी. बट so for me, Vele versus Jet में I feel like just because Vele's kit is that much superior right now in the game, even though वो nerf होगा या जो भी होगा, I feel like Jet is not higher than any. It's a good agent personally for this map, but not the best, you know. Coming to Neon, again kit wise देखो, logic wise, usage wise देखो, Neon is one of the highest used agents right now. डिस्पाइट नर्फ और जो भी हुआ बट अभी भी नियॉन इज वन ऑफ द हाईएस्ट रेटेड और हाईएस्ट यूज्ड एजेंट्स. ठीक है, नियॉन का किट पर्सनली यू हैव अ स्टन, यू हैव स्प्रिंट, यू हैव अ वॉल एंड द अल्ट इज क्रेजी अगेन, राइट. बट आई फील लाइक द लेआउट ऑफ द मैप जैसा भी है, अगेन नियॉन का किट इज नॉट एज सुपीरियर, नॉट more superior than maybe Vele ka kit, Raze ka kit. Personally, I feel like Neon is a good pick, and I feel like a lot of teams are just picking it because it's the meta, and also not just the meta, it's because Neon पे लोग अब इतने comfortable हो गए हैं to, and Neon also makes people uncomfortable because the pace that changes is similar to what basically a Vele does. वो जो pace change होता है अचानक से when you dash in, Jet का भी जो dash in होता है, वो जो पेस चेंज है विथ नियॉन इज डिफरेंट टू बाकी एजेंट्स, एंड दैट मेक्स पीपल अनकंफर्टेबल जब वो अल्ट लेके आता है, यू नो, और व्हेन ही इज स्प्रिंटिंग, शी इज स्प्रिंटिंग. बट ये जब भी होता है यू कैन वेरी वेल सी कि इट मेक्स अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल अनकंफर्टेबल व्हेन दे आर प्लेइंग, एंड आई थिंक दैट इज द बिगेस्ट सेल फॉर नियॉन. स्टन हो गया, ये हो गया, ये सब कुछ है, बट द चेंज ऑफ पेस जो कि थोड़ा सा जंपिंग में भी जो भी थोड़ा नर्फ हो गया, बट still that change of pace, I think that is what makes Neon that much valuable in terms of an official setting ho gaya. So I think Neon again better kit than Jet. Again, personally I will put it at 8, you know. Going to other duelists, I feel like one very underrated duelist here, Yoru. If you see the current stats, Yoru non-mirror win rate is the highest currently. Yoru non-mirror win rate is absolutely bogus by 55 plus, I think है 55+% win rate for non-mirror Yoru comps overall shows that despite the nerf, Yoru is still very much viable. But again, viable, it's like जो पहले का नियॉन था, जो शुरुआत में नियॉन था, बिकॉज शुरुआत में भी नियॉन अच्छा था बट ओनली अ सेलेक्ट फ्यू प्लेयर्स कुड प्ले सिमिलर. योरू का स्किल सीलिंग अभी थोड़ा हायर हो गया है, ओनली अ सेलेक्ट फ्यू पीपल might be able to play it, but the teams and the players who are playing it can extract that much greater value out of it. That is the main point here. So I would personally put Yoru. Again, Yoru का kit if you see it, obviously nerf हो गया, flash है still, ठीक है. Again, you have very simple, तुम्हारा teleport बोल लो या जो भी बोल लो है, ult. Again, these are kit. Again, Yoru ka kit, the ult makes people uncomfortable. I think for duelists, the biggest selling point is making people uncomfortable. Hi Nighthawk, hi Abhik, welcome. I think the biggest selling point for any duelist is to make people uncomfortable. Space create करो या kill लो, damage दो, जो भी करो, but simple बात ये है कि वो uncomfortable feel कराते हैं लोगों को, and that is how I value duelists. And I feel Yoru current meta में, just because लोग खेलना बंद कर दिए हैं, practice wise भी ज़्यादा Yoru teams नहीं मिलती होंगी teams को, I feel again Yoru का kit nerf है, but I still feel it's very viable and it's underrated. It's still usable, and I think it creates a lot of pressure on the opponent because वो uncomfortable feel कराते हैं. बजाज चाचा for VCTCN. मोस्ट डुएलिस्ट सी आई टेल यू मोस्ट डुएलिस्ट को मैं ए के ऊपर ही रखने वाला हूँ. दैट इज हाउ आई फील बिकॉज ये जो मेटा ही चल रहा है यार, डुएलिस्ट हैवी मेटा है. इसमें तुम समिट का बना लो, किसी का भी बना लो, सारे डुएलिस्ट ए या एस पे ही रहने वाले हैं, यू नो. बट कमिंग टू द वन डुएलिस्ट दैट आई फील डजंट ऐड अ लॉट ऑफ वैल्यू, आई वुड से रेना. अगेन रेना आई फील लाइक इज अ एजेंट जो कि जस्ट ब्रॉली एजेंट रह चुका है. इवन दो उसमें उसकी जो किट है उसमें हल्के से चेंजेस जो आए थे, I think that endears her more towards a team-oriented Reina, but still there are pockets only. Team play के pockets available हैं, largely individual है अभी भी, फिर भी उसका kit, which is why did you watch NRG versus left? NRG versus left, NRG versus left. मैप बताओ मेरे को कोई, तो मेरे को याद आएगा. NRG versus left वैसे याद नहीं आ रहा. NRG versus left वैसे याद नहीं आ रहा. मैप बताओ मेरे को. If you are talking about Summit, I watched Summit, but I don't think I watched Map 2 and 3. I did watch Summit, but I did not watch Map 2 and 3. हाँ, मैं आज का ही बोल रहा हूँ, बट मैं बोल रहा हूँ मैप के हिसाब से बताओ मेरे को. मतलब मैंने समिट देखा था, पर मैंने बाकी दोनों मैप नहीं देखा, और मेरे को याद भी नहीं है बाकी दोनों मैप क्या थे. पर्सनली स्पीकिंग मैंने सिर्फ समिट देखा था. हाउ आर यू? आई एम फाइन अभी. हाउ आर यू? समिट क्या? समिट देखा था मैंने, बाकी दोनों मैप्स नहीं देखे थे. बाकी दोनों मैप क्या थे देखते. सनसेट एंड हेवन. मूविंग ऑन. रेना, और कोई सवाल है को बता दो. I'll clear it. Reina again. I would say I would put Reina at C just because individual, मतलब उसका जो kit है, I don't think it endears her towards a lot of team play, and plus summit के जो corners और ये सब हैं जितने सारे, उतना खुला एरिया भी नहीं है except the mid area जहाँ पे वो उतना fight ले सके, you know. Yep. Coming to Vele now. Personally, Vele ka kit is amazing. I have always liked Vele. Even when Vele was introduced, I have loved Vele. When people said कि obviously Vele single duelist में नहीं जमता है, I think my part of the argument is कि there were maps even then. If you thought of Ascent and stuff, I felt जब शुरुआत में Vele release हुआ था, again my personal opinion, analytically speaking, मेरे logic से I felt like Vele is a very good agent for anyone, especially जो टीम्स लेयर्स में खेलना पसंद करती हैं, टेम्पोज में खेलना पसंद करती हैं. Vele allows you to change your tempo and to disguise your tempo इतना अच्छे तरीके से that it makes opponents very uncomfortable, you know. I feel like obviously with time, as time goes on, Vele is also, people are getting used to Vele, but even if they get used to Vele, वो जो uncomfortable वाला factor है, जो discomfort वाला factor होता है, I think that still will remain with Vele a lot. And उसका kit is so lovely, brother. उसका kit is so lovely. I think one of the best kits in duelists right now available in Valorant. Overall, कोई भी map हो या कुछ भी हो, Vele का kit is very nice. Personally, Vele would go in the S tier for me. Coming to ISO, again, I feel like ISO very good choice in terms of if you want to play ranked or stuff on this map. In terms of team play, again, ISO single duelist, very difficult to make it work. ISO in a double duelist setting also, what ISO provides, I think, with the fact that okay, he can take solo fights or he can absorb the first contact, because a lot of people are playing chamber and veto a lot. So ISO can be your absorption shield in a way. But again, ISO ka kit is very good, but I would say in the current meta, people are not scared of ISO whatsoever a lot. And that is what makes it, less appealing to me as an option. Personally, I don't find the appeal with ISO just because of the fact that it's not it's not as feared as the other duelists. उतना discomfort वाला factor नहीं है. उसका kit I feel like is still decent, still usable, but there is no fear factor right now associated with ISO. उसका ult भी अब ऐसा हो गया कि I think people find it very comfortable. People have found ways to navigate the ult बहुत अच्छे तरीके से. उसके अल्ट को भी अब या तो लोग जो डॉज करते हैं डॉज करने पे करते हैं. एंड इवन इफ यू आर कॉट इन द अल्ट, आई थिंक इट्स एन इवन फाइट. पहले होता था इफ यू आर कॉट इन द अल्ट, थोड़ा अगेन वो डिस्कम्फर्ट वाला फैक्टर आता था कि ओ 1v1 होने वाला है मेरे को ये. अब ऐसा है कि इवन इन द 1v1 और व्हाटएवर, पीपल आर नॉट फेज्ड एनी मोर बाय आईसो. द फैक्ट दैट उसका किट में अभी कोई वैसा फियर फैक्टर या कुछ भी नहीं रह गया है, अनलेस समवन इज ऑन अ रोल. अगेन द बेस्ट प्लेयर्स कैन मेक आईसो लुक deadly, but that's the difference, that ISO is still dependent on the best player, just like Yoru ka kit. But the difference in Yoru's kit and ISO's kit is Yoru's kit is still much more viable in a team setting, even if he's not, let's say, able to make an impact individuality wise. Yoru can still endure to the team with his kit. ISO cannot to that extent personally. Yes, एक तरीके से उसके अल्ट को तुम साइड क्लियर के लिए यूज कर सकते हो. अगर एक ही बंदा साइड पे या दो बंदे साइड पे, इफ यू मैनेज टू कैप्चर वन फॉर अ लॉन्गर टाइम इन द अल्ट, दैट लिटरली गिव्स यू लाइक एक तरीके से साइट ओवरलोड. इट क्रिएट्स a site overload which can be beneficial for you. But apart from that, shield hai, maybe you can walk behind the wall, small things. But personally, I don't find its kit that appealing to me, even though it's good. Again, personal opinion, I would put it in B. I don't find it as appealing. Coming to Phoenix, I think people are using Phoenix so much right now. People are so comfortable with Phoenix. Phoenix is like your very basic brawly agent. Again, sort of very close to how people treat CSGO as well. Flash hai, yeah, uska wall, I think it's still has to be nerfed personally. But again, uska wall, superb wall. Heal, molly, जो भी बोल लो, and ult. Phoenix का kit, personally, one of the most balanced in terms of duelists right now in the meta. Personally, I don't find the fear factor in Phoenix. I just find the comfort factor. जैसे discomfort opponents को होता है, I feel like with Phoenix you have a lot of comfort factor in your own team. तुमको kills नहीं मिल रहे, ये नहीं मिल रहे, या you cannot stand up to anybody like directly. You can farm ops, Phoenix ult. अभी तो फिर भी एक और बढ़ गया, but even then I feel like 3 Phoenix ults is still going to be the standard. 3 Phoenix ults per half is going to be a standard, and 3 Phoenix ults per half gives you 3 rounds where you have extra men, basically, literally extra men, because someone is going in. So Phoenix very good, but again in a double duelist setup, I would say. Single duelist setup में काम नहीं करेगा, summit पे तो नहीं करेगा. In other maps also I feel like single duelist Phoenix is very tough again to envisage. Currently, I would say Vele as an agent hai, where even if you put him in a single duelist comp on Summit, it can still work. Even Jet can still work. Neon can still work. Phoenix, I don't think it can work to that extent personally. Phoenix possibly the best, most balanced kit in game, but I will still keep it 8 here just because of the fact that I don't see that utna quality from, obviously it's used so much, but again for a map like Summit as well, I feel like I personally, in my logic, I need some agents. Like, you'll see the reason why very soon, because I would much rather prefer Raze than Phoenix. It's very simple, guys. Raze over Phoenix सिर्फ इसीलिए, you see, obviously Molly ये सब वो सब है. रेज का जो अल्ट है, आई थिंक इट्स मोर डायरेक्ट देन फिनिक्स's अल्ट. It has more clear potential, you know. Phoenix का ult again good है, but there is no pace or anything attached to it. Raze के satchels, Raze का ult, Raze का boombot, another thing that you can add to the info section. The pace that the satchels allow, the nade again, because जैसा जो map है, you need to have this kit. Having this kit, I think, very valuable compared to Phoenix का kit. Phoenix का kit is good, but Raze का kit में जो nade है, nade can help you clear a lot of angles, a lot of areas. Your boombot can help you clear a lot of angles, and again your ult, very good pacing with the satchels and everything available even in normal movement. Imagine combining Raze with an agent like, you know, Neon or Vele, beautiful. But even on a standalone basis, I think Raze is still fully capable. I don't think we'll see Raze single duelist that much on Summit personally, but I feel his ka kit is for me much more valuable than a Phoenix ka kit. So that is how I'll put it. Personally, I feel like Vele still the best kit for me right now. Uske baad I would say Raze, you know, in terms of duelists. Do we have any more duelists left? No. Okay. Duelists are done. Let's talk about Sentinels. Sentinels. First thing I'll talk about is Sage. I think Sage ka util kit, beautiful. Sage ka wall, Sage ka slow. I don't know how they are going to change जो lore जो चल रहा है अभी Sage को लेके, how she's getting crystallized. I have a theory that personally what we are going to see with Sage is कि उसका जो crystal या healing ability है that will be replaced by something else, because we have so many अभी इतने healers आ गए हैं. I think it will become the opposite because she's lore के हिसाब से, because I think Valorant, the beautiful part about Valorant is they match lore with abilities as well. तो the fact that वो इतना heal कर रही है और वो crystallize होने लगी है, I feel like it will go from healing to something like a DK or a damage ability. I think wall can still remain, you know, and instead of, let's say, the crystal sort of slow, I feel like it might be changed into something like, I think the comparison between Sage and Viper जो lore में जिस तरीके से भी चल रहा है, I think Sage is also going to become sort of a version of Viper, but a smaller version of Viper. I feel like Sage will retain a wall. I think Sage ka slow will be converted into something toxic. Sage ka heal will be converted into a DK or a damage or something, you know. That is what I feel personally. And I think Sage ka jo resurrection hai, I don't know if that will be changed or not. Because I think resurrection ka bhi lore pe jo chal raha hai, it feels very heavy for Sage. बट हीलिंग का तो डेफिनेटली चेंज होगा, बिकॉज वो हीलिंग के ऊपर ही पूरा लोड चल रहा है कि हीलिंग ऐसे क्रिस्टलाइज हो रहा है. रिगार्डलेस अभी जो किट है सेज का, ब्यूटीफुल किट स्टार्टिंग आउट ऑन न्यू मैप लाइक समिट. सेज का किट आई फील लाइक वेरी गुड. यू हैव अ स्लो, यू हैव हील, क्या नहीं है सेज के पास. आई थिंक इट्स द, पर्सनली आई डोंट लाइक सेंटिनल्स राइट नाउ इन द करंट मेटा. मेरे को सेंटिनल्स उतने अच्छे नहीं लगते करंट मेटा में. बट इफ आई हैड टू पिक अ सेंटिनल आई वुड पिक समवन लाइक Sage, Vito, you know. Chamber again, the problem with Chamber is Chamber के पास कोई secondary चीज नहीं है apart from him being able to take aggressive angles and that one trap. उसके अलावा Chamber doesn't have, the only other thing Chamber has is a secondary weapon. एक तरीके से एक sheriff है उसके पास बस. Whereas if you see Vito on defense, very valuable. Vito, like even while going in or whatever, Vito का जो kit है बहुत ज़्यादा valuable. And plus जितने angles है walls और ये सब के through, I think Vito का जो TP है, the fact that you have two instantaneous TPs available rather than one TP for Chamber is again makes Vito's kit better than Chamber, you know. So I would prefer Vito, Sage and all over something like a Chamber or traditional Sentinels. But even traditional Sentinels early on Summit will work. Sentinels like, you know, if you see Cypher should work. But apart from that, I feel very like I don't think KJ is a good agent. overall on any map right now. But even on Summit, I don't feel like people feel threatened by a KJ. Deadlock, sure. I think Deadlock wise, these are again agents with good kit that no longer keep you restricted in a sentinel role. Just say you can lend yourself to even attacks, lend yourself to even like defense, retakes, whatever. You know, you can set traps and stuff. With KJ, the trap is always a lot of passive, but at the same time direct. Like either उसका alarm bot या turret के ऊपर you have to contact, or the other people have to start basically dumping util. So it's always based on something the other team is going to do. Whereas deadlock और ये सब का वाइस का जो है वो बहुत ही actively attacking setups है, actively trapping setups है. केजे का I don't think people fear her a lot anyway. उसका जो किट है I think it's very subdued, उतना वैल्यू नहीं लेके आता अभी जितना पहले लेके आता था. So मैंने ऑलमोस्ट सारे सेंटेंस के एक ही साथ बोल दिए. वेरी सिंपल. आई वुड पुट, आई मीन सेज हियर. आई वुड पुट deadlock and Wise here just because I feel like deadlock and Wise again good kits. Personally, I don't see the meta. I don't find the meta that appealing for Sentinels. Actually, you know what? I'll put it here because I feel like Cypher is still viable. If you're putting Reyna in C, Cypher is still more viable than Reyna any time of the day. Veto, I think Veto, I would put it just after Phoenix because of its viability. Chamber. The fact with Chamber is again, it's going to be a popular pick, but I don't see its kit that endearing. I would put it in B only. I don't think its kit is that good. It's going to be popular right now, definitely, but personally मेरे को उतना जमता नहीं है Chamber इस map में. I feel like Veto is much better here. Okay, these are my Sentinels. KJ, I would KJ, I would put it C personally. I don't like KJ का जो view है. How many teams actually play KJ here on Summit? Is there a team? Let me check. I don't remember. Summit here. Space में अभी तक ये नहीं है. I don't remember someone playing Killjoy. That's the thing. I don't know if someone is playing Killjoy or not personally, but I don't see it. I've not seen any. Yeah, boy. That's why I was trying to find out because I don't remember seeing a Killjoy. I mean, that is my personal opinion. ऐसा है, simple है. Let's get down to controllers. We'll do initiators last because I feel like initiators are the most complex part of this tier list in Summit because I think every initiator has some value to provide except maybe one or two. Controllers. Controllers may, again, the thing with controllers is you have to understand what do you want to achieve with the controllers, Personally, I feel like with controllers, this map I think endures to a double controller meta as well if you want to do that. If I have to choose, either I would go for a Sage as a Sentinel or I just remove the Sentinel completely and go for a double controller setup. I think single initiator is fine. You want to go for double initiators? I've seen a lot of double initiators, right? Does Global also play double initiator? I feel like, yeah, Teho Sky. Yep, Teho Sky, double initiator. But personally, I don't like double initiator. Like obviously it's good. I would prefer a double duelist setup, double duelist, double controller setup here. But again, I think double ini is also very valid here. If you want to play double ini, I think it's still very valid here. I feel like Global's comp is very good personally. Global's comp. I'm just seeing the global comp abhi. Global comp is Raze, Vito, Teho, Sky, Astra. I think it's very valid. बहुत अच्छा comp है. Compare that to Genji's comp. I don't like Genji's comp that much. First of all, yeah, it's good. I think they've picked all the strong agents on this map, right? But again, Chamber I think is more like a comfort pick. Sage is good. Neon is good. Fade again good. Omen again good. Overall, I feel like Global's comp is much better, much more well-rounded, gives them more options. Alu, hi Gobsy, post-plan util, everything, bro, everything. I think Global just has a superior comp there, you know. Personally, again, there is no such thing as a superior comp. It's all about comfort at the end, because in even if you make like the best comp and the worst comp at the same time, if the players are able to play the worst comp much better, much more efficiently than the best comp, doesn't matter if that's the best comp, you know, doesn't matter. Yeah, cool. So controllers, I'll be very straightforward. I think personally, let's start with Harbor. I think Harbor kit, beautiful kit. If you want to play double controllers, Harbor kit possibly beautiful kit. What don't you have? I would say Harbor versus Viper if there's an argument. I think Viper is also good, but if you see the argument between Harbor and Viper, Harbor obviously has a very much more valuable kit right now. Harbor's ult on Summit is going to be very good, very strong, you know. Harbor's wall on Summit, again, very strong. Harbor's AWP, that shield, very strong, you know. Personally, I feel like Harbor, one of the best agents here. The kit just endears itself so much to this map. I don't see how Harbor is not being played. I'll tell you a funny anecdote. When I was working in a team when Harbor was released. I pushed for Harbor a lot because I always felt like Harbor had the best kit available when it was released as well. You know, I feel like because again, discomfort factor. Harbor attack the execute world is the only one that covers the whole site. Yep. I mean, Gobsy, it's not just about covering the whole site. I'm just saying, impact-wise, Viper's ult is not as impactful as Harbor's ult here. I'm just comparing Harbor and Viper here, the two agents, controllers, because I feel like both kit are almost similar for us. Yeah, a lot of people end up playing Viper Harbor, but in terms of kit versus kit, I'm just talking about pure individual agents. I'm comparing Harbor's kit to Viper's kit, and I think Harbor's kit is better than Viper's kit here on Summit. This hi Katputli. But yeah, for me, I think yeah, I pushed for Harbor even then, and I think the changes that Harbor has undergone might not be all best, but I think it still makes it a stronger option personally. Harbor, I feel like very underrated agent right now. A lot of teams are not opting for Harbor, but the teams that are opting for Harbor, they are going to find value out of this agent, especially on a map like Summit. I think if someone dares to play Harbor, I think it's a bold choice. I think very good choice personally. Harbor is a very good choice personally. But yeah, not wasting a lot of time. Personally, Viper's kit good, not that great for me. Harbor's kit, I think one of the best. I'd put it just behind Vito. I think just ahead of Vito, but behind Phoenix again on A. Because S, I feel like S, there are very few. I would put, if I have to put S liberally, I would put even Phoenix up at S. But the fact is, I only want to put agents on S that I feel like are just creme de la creme, you know, right now. I feel personally on a map like Summit. That is why I'm only going to put very choice agents on S that I feel like just what are the cool words people are saying? Mog other agents right now in terms of their kit and their viability on a map like Summit. You know, mix again controller kit. I personally found it good. The mix kit, I think it's largely underrated. But use case wise, on a map like this, it's going to be same as Clove. Clove kit again decent individually, but team wise not good. Mixed team wise good, individually also decent. I just failed to find the again what I judge agents by and people by is the fear factor, and I don't see any fear factor in mix. Let's say if a mix is guarding a site, I don't see the same fear that I would see maybe if a Vito is there, or even like even if I see Chamber or Cypher there, I feel like mix ka kit is good, but on defense, I don't see a lot of fear being instilled into the opponents through the mix kit. And question, yes, Kobzi, hello. You can just write. You don't have to ask questions. You can just write. So Popsy, I even after the nerf, I have taken the orb nerf into account. Even after the nerf, I think it still has one of the best kits. I clarified that even after the nerf, I think three ults. You can still look at three ults. The type of orbs that Phoenix is able to farm, the farming. If the farming is efficient, I think we are still looking at an average of three ults almost every half. Very decently. Even if let's say a player is on 5 kills, I would say 5 kills through that, maybe 5 deaths, 10 orbs there. Farming one orb every round is not is I think very standard for a Phoenix. Apart from that, so I think 21 to 22 orbs is what I'm seeing minimum. So I feel like three ults minimum, and I think three ults still gives his kit a lot of potential. Unless his wall is nerfed. When his wall is nerfed, I think then it's a different case. I have not taken any of the other nerfs that are potentially going to come, if they are going to come. The rumors that are like a lot of what do they say? Valo accounts are obviously saying wall nerf and all. I also hope the wall nerf comes, but unless it comes, I don't. Has it come? I don't know if it has come. Let me check. From what I know, Phoenix nerf is just the ult orb mostly increased to 7, right? Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I don't see any other nerf. I hope I answered that. Coming back to the tier list, Mix, Viper, I feel like again viable, but to a very limited extent for me. You know, Omen again. If you look at Omen's kit, he has scalability. Okay, has beautiful. Uh, Even though it's lower now after the nerf long ago, the blind very good. The smokes still very good. Phoenix Omen, I feel like again very good util kit. Personally, for this map, I would again put it as. In fact, I would put it ahead of Phoenix just because of the fact that personally, I feel like people who are using a double duelist setup, even in the current meta or even in other maps like Pearl and stuff, I feel like putting Omen in that double is like acting or taking Omen as the second duelist can also work wonders for them. Personally, I feel like Omen's kit is better or more valuable, creates more discomfort, or gives a team more options than a Phoenix kit. That is my personal opinion. So remember the password. Hi, Vortex. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I wanted to do this for almost 3 to 4 days, and the only reason I couldn't do it was because I was getting myself into a rhythm, a different sort of routine, you know. Cool. Clove, again, I don't feel like Clove team wise is going to give us anything, but I'm not putting it at C because I think there is more viability for Clove. I think there is a limited viability present there, for Clove. Astra, I have to put it in S tier. Personally, kit wise, the best. Kit wise, the best. Hi Saksham, the best agent right now, apart from Vele and Raze. But personally, it's a give or take situation. Omen versus Astra on this map, I would say if Omen versus Astra होता है इस map पे, Astra almost becomes too passive because of the fact that obviously it's a passive agent. उसको static रहना पड़ता है to put all this that to help the teammates. I feel like this map is more about tempo. In fact, the whole Valorant is about tempo, and I feel in that manner, Harbor and Omen are sort of better for me than Astra. But I feel completely fine if a team even goes Astra because I think Astra is just always has been broken, especially after when it was nerfed. Again, I think it was more of a Yoru sort of nerf where it was nerfed, but people forgot that it's still viable and people started using it again. And after the adjustment again, I think Astro is still Astro's kit is unbelievable for a map like Summit. Almost most maps, I think Astro's kit is very good personally. The last controller, I would say again limited viability, but I think is the best of the limited viability controllers. I think Brimstone is very good, but in a very controlled environment. Again, I would say I would pick Brimstone over Viper, Mix, you know, even Clove, but not above, a Harbor or an Omen personally. That is that is my choice. I think Brimskit is fine. We have three smokes. There is that added benefit Pele, But apart from that, not. I don't see a lot of viability. Moving on to initiators. Fast, 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 fast. Initiators, I feel like almost all initiators are viable here personally. The least viable, I would say, the least viable has to be Gecko for me on this map. I'll put Gecko on B tier. Its kit is good, but the map and the angles and everything, I think it almost nerfs or bottlenecks Gecko's util pura. To a large extent, Gecko ka kit is bottlenecked by the map ka layout and the map ka structure. So I feel like Gecko not that viable. I would even put it C, but I think people can still make it work. That's why I'm put like at last, even after Clove. I think before Clove, you are more likely to see a Gecko than a Clove. Even more likely to see a Gecko than a Mix, I think. More likely to see Chamber. Yep. And apart from that, I feel like again Sova limited here on this map personally. You can argue Sova is good on all maps. Some people even play it on split, but personally, Sova's kit not that good. I put it just behind Gecko. Have- How many people have been playing Sova on Summit? Are there a lot of people? I haven't seen a lot of people. The matches that I saw, I barely saw some Summit pe Sova. Let me check. I don't remember. I remember Energy Leviathan में one of the teams were playing. So I think was it Brock? But I think it's more like a comfort pick rather than just value pick. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I said. Yeah, Brock, right? Yep. NRG. Apart from NRG, does anyone else play? I don't remember. I'm trying to find out, but RIV is down, man. RIV is not there anymore. And Watch Space doesn't have Summit. Watch.space doesn't have Summit, so it's very hard to find. If Watch.space already had Summit, it would be such an easy time. Nongshim just 30 nodes Zeta right now in heaven. Not surprised. But yeah, Breach, I think viable, but again limited. I don't think we'll see a lot of Breach on it, but kit wise, good stun, you know, good ult, two flashes, good flashes. Not C, bro. Hello, not C, bro. The thing is, you guys are so sheep minded, herd minded. You guys think Breach is so bad. So many teams are still playing Breach. Why are they playing Breach? For example, people said Breach is bad. God's Reign or NSP, whatever you want to call it, they won with Breach. They played Breach on 3 maps. They won here. So I don't see how Breach is bad. It's because I understand the current meta. In the current meta, Breach may not be as viable. Again, Breach is a very use high usability agent, like very high skill ceiling agent right now. Like you have to be perfect with Breach util in terms of timing, in terms of angles, in terms of literally everything. Yeah, obviously can't play a single inning. Yeah, but I would say it's still very viable. I would say if I have to put it, I would put it somewhere around here. After Chamber, I think. How good do you think is the 2020 season? I think it's very good for people who want to actually show that they are better than the players who are already occupy the space. I think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, especially Cup One. I think Cup One should be every player's target. Everyone who's not a top player right now or a top org, 2027 Cup One should be the target. Orgs, I personally hope and believe that we will have a lot of more orgs because the field will be more open now, and just because of the fact that these will be cup based and not league based and everything, I think teams will be more open to signing. Maybe the salary will go down in India, but I think more orgs are going to come. The average salary will go down because personally, I feel with Valo Mobile also on the horizon, a lot of mobile orgs are going to come and test the space, the Valo fan space, by picking up Valo teams, especially in the 2027 season. I don't know if they'll remain for the 2028, but I think 2027 season. Yeah, for India, Vopsi, I will say Cup 1, there will be more odds. The reason is because ENC will create the hype, and Valo Mobile, if you know, is already releasing worldwide like in August or September, I remember, mid August or September. And there is expectancy of of a beta or something or a version being released soon in India as well afterwards. So I think Cup 1, there will be most orgs in India. Or internationally, I agree with what you're saying. In India, Cup One I think still has the best chance for Orgs because ENC Team India is going there. If they perform well, it's going to create a lot of hype. You know, I mean, again, maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. The fact is, this its worldwide release is happening right now in mid August or end of August. So, I mean, I am hoping it comes earlier just because of the fact that I think with Valo Mobile, Valo PC will also gain a lot of eyeballs in India. That is, I think, that is going to serve the Valo space. People are thinking ki, oh, if Valo Mobile comes, it's going to ruin the Valo PC space. I don't think so. I think it's going to help the Valo PC space even further. You know, I personally think so. It's I think it's going to be good for the Indian scene if Valo Mobile comes. It's going to help the Valo PC scene a lot, personally. Well, coming down to brass tacks, Teho's kit, good, but I don't see that much value. I know Global is playing it. I know Teho has a good kit right now. But for me, again, Teho's fear factor very low for me personally, not compared to other agents. Personally, very low for me compared to other inis. Definitely good kit, good post plan util, even in execute, even in clearing, good good utils. The drone, beautiful. It's definitely very viable. It's one of the most viable initiators. But is it more? Is it the best option? First of all, single ini Theo not viable for me. Double ini Theo viable, but again, are there better options or something else? Personally, I feel there are. Okay, so definitely Teho goes to A, but I think Teho will go somewhere around here. You know, coming to KO, I feel KO any map viable, every map viable. KO is possibly KO acts more as a counter. KO acts more as a disabler than an enabler. You know, yeah, it has flashes. It will help you set people up or even yourself. But at its core, it's a disabler, not an enabler. And a disabler is always good, especially at the higher level where people are anti-stratting and playing on counters a lot. People are analyzing, they have a week to analyze and counter a team and prepare anti-strats and come. I think KO is a very good disabler. I think beautiful disabler. Any map, I would say KO is viable. Personally, logically for me, any map, KO, very good for me. One of the best util kits, personally. I feel KO is beautiful as an agent. It's just that how much ever will a team use it? I don't see a lot of teams using it that much, especially on Summit as well. But I feel it's very viable. Personally, very, very viable. I would put it over Theo just because of the fact that it's viable on every map and Summit also. Feel like the kit is better because of the disabling ability. You see the agents that are currently prevalent in the meta, and that makes KO much more viable in the current meta than other initiators right now. You know, so I would not put it as an S just because of the fact that I personally feel hi Mo. I would not put it as S just because of the fact that I think it's viable on all maps and its usability again is very limited compared to how much it's viable because of the fact that I think it's mostly a disabler. But again, I think it's one of the best kits available. I put it just after Phoenix here, personally. I think I'll rotate here. Now coming to the final two, Sky and Fade. I'll talk about Fade first. For me, S tier, corner clearing, ult is good, the seize is good, the haunt better than all other recon abilities here, you know. Personally, very good. Fate, no questions asked, not a lot of things to answer, straight up S tier. Personally, the best single ini option right now on Summit, the best single ini option. I don't know how many teams are playing single any and not playing Fate, personally. Kai, beautiful option again. You have info finding ability, you have flashes. Again, ult is also an info finding ability. For me, why its kit is not as valuable even as a KO, I'd say, because again, I feel like ultimates, like Sky's ultimate, does not lend that much value on a map like Summit and stuff, and even most maps, because I think by now people are becoming so comfortable that they'll stay, especially with the usage of Veto, Chamber, and dashing agents and the duelist heavy meta that it is. They are not going to be scared of a Sky ult coming in. They're not going to feel the discomfort that they used to feel anymore. People are braver now in the official scene. People are braver to against Sky Util. So I don't feel like Sky's util is that scary. Yeah, it's definitely helpful. The kit is beautiful. Everything is there. You have heal, you have flash, you have everything. I think it's beautiful, but I again feel don't feel the fear factor as much because of the growth of the scene. I think it's a positive thing. It's because the meta also lends itself more to aggression, and with that aggression, I think people are becoming more comfortable with dealing with Sky Alt and Sky Util overall. So that's why I put it just behind Veto. You know, for me, I think definitely this is my tier list. There's no in D because personally I feel every agent is viable to an extent, even to a small extent. These two possibly the lowest. If I had to put, I would probably put Clove top of C, but I think it's B just because of the fact that I can see teams opting for Clove sometimes. Mix again, I think Kit is better, but not going to see a lot of mix. So Soba, I think it is not that good, especially the drone and all. The speed of the drone and all is just I don't think I think it's a waste to play Sova personally on a map like Summit, especially if you're playing single ini, then though not viable at all. Even in a double ini, it's very tough to find that much value with a Sova. Unless it's like a comfort pick, I don't see a lot of teams going to pick. Gecko, I feel like slowly people are going to go gravitate towards Gecko. At least one or two teams are going to gravitate towards Gecko. Yep. Breach, I hope people play Breach. People show that with Breach also you can win on Summit. But yeah. Overall I think this is my S tier completely. A tier, I would say if I have to be lenient, I would put Phoenix, KO, Veto, and Harbor in S tier. I'll probably put these four in S tier and the rest will remain A if I have to put. But I'm just putting the little best agents that I feel. I feel Vele, Raze, Astra, and Fade are definitely the best. If I have to make a comp here just to put a fifth, I would rather put a Sage here just to balance it out, or I would put something like an Omen. Personally, not even like an Omen, even a Harbor works. Like I would definitely want to go either Sage or a double controller instead of a double ini, unless you want to go KO. Again, KO is a very viable option as well. If you ask me, my personal favorite comp here, I would say Vele, Race, Harbor, Fade, and Omen. Personally, I think tempo is very good. Tempo is very fast. You can mix up the tempo. Astra, I don't like as much as Omen. Personal, again, that's a personal opinion. I feel like for me, I feel much more comfortable seeing my players on an Omen just because of the freedom they have rather than an Astra. Because I know it might be a bias towards the players that I've worked with. Harbor and Viper, bro, no. Viper, Harbor together on a map like Summit, I wouldn't prefer at all. It's all about the comfort factor for me. For the players that maybe it's biased towards the players that I have worked with, but I feel like giving them more freedom helps them more rather than stifling them. And I feel like Astra to an extent is going to stifle unless some players are comfortable. If the player is comfortable playing in that role and finding value despite of their passiveness, it's okay. Or otherwise, personally, for me, if I have to recommend a comp to someone, I would say Vele, Raze, Fade, Harbor, and Omen. Or you can go Omen and Sage, if you want. Like, but Vele, Raze, Omen, Fade, and Harbor. That would be my comp if I have to go. Yeah, this is my tier list personally. Okay. Now, someone asked me to talk about just the global defense. Personally, I will not talk about global matches or any matches or like any of global's comps or anything because I want to see global from a lens of just support. I don't want to get into all of that. I would rather stay away from it. I think they have a beautiful lineup. They have a very good. When the season started, personally, I have felt always that this lineup on paper is as good as a paper X lineup, and I will always maintain that. Is Sage getting picked more in tier 1 lately because of the map rotation of the kit? Kit is not better now. Kit has always been good. It's just, I think people understand that in this current meta, with the pace of the meta and everything, D tier empty because I don't think there is an agent that people just cannot play, in the setting in the tier list. D tier is literally for something that you'll never play. Like, if I have to put it, I would put it something like necessary, right, strong, you know, something, something, int, int picks. What are, what are you doing? There is no agent. If it's picked, I'll say, what are you doing? Because I understand that I've not seen you playing Neon Shy. Wow. Yeah. The necessary, I feel like these agents are mostly going to be necessary or seen as necessary. These are seen as strong. These are sometimes going to be good, sometimes not. These are obviously going to be int picks. And for me, like, this is when nothing is working. This is when nothing is working, you just give people their agents. If someone wants to fight more, give them Reina. If someone wants to just play KJ because they like KJ, give them KJ. That is how I feel, you know. How do I, how do I extend this? इसको extend कैसे करूँ? हाँ, इसको extend नहीं कर सकता क्या? What would be the next agent they should releasing? I think I don't know. They are releasing material, but personally, I'm more interested in CH ka rework. I think the CH rework is coming, judging by the lore, and I'm very interested in checking out the CH ka rework and Brimstone ka rework as well. I hope इन दोनों का rework आने वाला है, and I'm very much looking forward. I think CH का theory जो मैं देख रहा हूँ lore के हिसाब से, I think they are going to remove the heal and convert. I think Sage will become like a Viper clone almost, in the fact that the heal will be removed and something of a decay or something will be added, right? And instead of the slow, I think some sort of again decay or damage will be added. And I think there will be a wall system. Whether will it be crystal based or not, I do not know. But there will be a wall based system still as part of Sage's kit. I think wall will remain. I think the slow will be replaced by some decay or damage. I think the heal will be replaced by some decay or damage, and these are the main perks. And I think resurrection, personally, I think instead of revive, they can still keep revive. I think, but I think instead of revive, she'll be able to revive herself. Maybe you know, maybe that can be changed. But I think even if they keep revive, it's okay. But the other things, I think I'm very much looking forward to seeing a change in that. I think Sage will become a Viper clone, is what I think personally. Yep, I definitely think so. If a rework happens that way, according to the lore, I can see that she'll turn to it. I think even in the beginning of the lore and stuff, we have seen how Sage and Viper interact. I feel like they are always shown as two sides of the same coin. They are always shown as two sides of the same coin. If you look at the lore very deeply, you will find that they are always shown as two sides of the same coin. So I'm very interested in whether they'll flip the script and they'll make Sage more like Viper because of the fact that her healing ability is making her crystallized. And with Brimstone, I feel like Steam Beacon has to change. I think maybe some rework of his Molly has to be done. Apart from that, I don't see much changes there. I think Brimstone, these two things definitely. Alt, I think it's good. I think, yeah, overall, I think Stim Beacon and all, Stim Beacon and Molly, I think can be reworked. Yeah. Yeah. Very excited, very excited. This is it. Guys, any questions, anything you want to ask, anything you want to talk about? I will give you guys more of a heads up. Today actually 3 बजे स्ट्रीम होने वाली थी, फिर मैंने डिले करके 6 बजे का फिक्स कर दिया. Going forward, I will make an effort to be more transparent and schedule these things. Actually मैंने एडवांस में शेड्यूल किया था. थंबनेल भी भाई मैंने बहुत देखो बेसिक सा बनाया, बट मैंने ही बनाया है. एंड गोइंग फॉरवर्ड we have an editor who will be working with us. He's very gracefully he accepted to work with us for almost no amount, you know, literally. So I'm grateful to the editor, and hopefully we'll be able to churn out videos. Are you sticking with ideas? See, right now the season is over, the contract is over, play. We do not know what's going to happen going forward. I personally, I what I can tell you about my experiences with R&D, my experience with R&D is I loved every bit of it. Personally, from the day I stepped foot onto the boot camp to the day I left it, I think I made new friends. First of all, I met a lot of new people, and even the people who I'm not friends with in the R&D bootcamp, I think everyone conducted themselves with, you know, so much respect, grace, and very familial feeling. Everyone was so honest with each other. The camaraderie, कितने अच्छे से मतलब honestly, the that is my best bootcamp experience so far, personally in my career. That is the best experience I've had in a bootcamp so far. I loved every bit of it. The players, not just our players, the BGMI. Honestly, BGMI players are so lovely, so beautiful. See, they are superstars. उनके फॉलोइंग देख लो, उनका ये देख लो, मतलब जितना उन्होंने ई स्पोर्ट्स में ये सब किया है. ऑफकोर्स बीजीएमआई के टूर्नामेंट्स ये सब ज्यादा होते रहते हैं, बट दे आर सो डाउन टू अर्थ, दे आर सो ब्यूटिफुल, दे हैव ब्यूटिफुल सोल्स. ऑनेस्टली आई लव्ड स्पेंडिंग टाइम विद देम. मेरे को तो बहुत मजा आया. आई लव स्पेंडिंग टाइम विद देम. आई लव स्पेंडिंग टाइम विद एक्सप्ली. पर्सनली आई लव स्पेंडिंग टाइम विद Abir. Definitely I hope he gets to manage a Valorant team again, because he loves Valorant. By any off-season tournament, Bharat Gaming Masters आ रहा है. Bye Divyansh. Thank you. Same to you. Do you know Zefe? I know Zefe. Yeah. I hope he gets to work with the Valorant team again. Whoever it might be, I think Abir is wonderful. I'm good, Vishal. How are you? Apart from them, my favorite person there was absolutely Sensei. Personally, how would you think he is? I think he's good, but again, see, I don't know a lot about him, and every time that people interact with me, they always tell me something negative about him. So I hope he understand, like, what. See, if 10 people are saying something negative about you, even if you're not that person, you have to understand that somewhere your perception or how people perceive you is becoming that way. So you have to address it, because it's going to see, if you're living your life, you don't give a fuck, and it's okay, because क्या ही फर्क पड़ता है. 10 लोग मेरे बारे में 10 चीज सोचे, मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है. बट इन दिस competitive sports scenario and everything, it's an org based game, it's a team based game. You need people to not think of you in such a negative manner, because it is not going to help you when it comes to building a team and team formation. Players will not want to, like, even if a coach wants to pick you, players will just rub it off and say, no, I don't want that guy in the team. District should be declared. Brother Sumit, how was the map? सही है भाई, what तू बता. So personally, I feel like, I think Zephyr is definitely talented. He's been talented for the longest of times, but it's how people are perceiving him is going to become an issue or a hindrance in his, towards his future. I think Rossi plays with him. Rossi likes him, but like ऑटो ट्रांसलेट बंद कर दे भाई, पता नहीं कैसे चले आ रहा है भाई। भाई सुमित कैसे, what up and coming, personally I would say one person, I he's not young, but the one person I liked this season was Bumbo. I would say he played for DXE. I really liked Bumbo. I think he took upon a role in Split One that is much greater than his own self in becoming the IGL or IGLing and stuff and everything. Bumbo, I feel like Bumbo has potential personally. Personally, I feel like Bumbo can do well if given an opportunity in this off season. If someone helps him, or if some team or some players, he plays with some players that help him grow, I think Bumbo has potential. I would say apart from it, the only player that impressed me was Envy. Honestly, it's just, I love the fact that he's he doesn't get scared of diving in. Whatever agent he plays, he first of all he can play so many duelist agents, and the fact that he's not scared of diving in. Personally, I did not hold that great of an opinion of Envy coming into this season, because last season he was just mostly a neon abuser, and even in the neon abuse, flaws there, that could have been better. But this season, honestly, yeah, there are still problems in his game. I wouldn't say like he's perfect, but bro, Envy, I think, is a dream of a duelist for a coach. Like, just look at Venka, for example. He can play so many agents, not just duelist or anything. Envy is similar, but in the fact that he plays on, I can, like, he's only playing duelist for now, is what we've seen in the officials. But even in duelist, the fear he can create in the opposition just by diving in and not being scared of giving up his life for the team is, I think, beautiful. I think teams yearn for such duelists. I think he's beautiful. Apart from that, I would say Rishi absolutely impressed everyone with his gameplay this season. Kudos to Rishi. I would say these are the three primary players who impressed. I think UV. I think people give a lot of hate to UV. I saw a lot of comments for UV, but people forget that this is his first full season. You have to give him time. I think he did a very good job, considering he had a very big role. He had a very big responsibility on his shoulders. I think he still did a decent job. Can he be better? I firmly believe UV can be even better. Firmly, I firmly believe UV can be much more better. But I think it will take him time. Even before the start of the season, I always maintained that I think UV needs one season under his belt to become much better. I think this is that season. Rossi, Rishi, Hackerby, and all have helped him a lot. And I think next season, I think, is UV's time. I think the growth that he will undergo during this off season because of what he's played and how much he's played during the season, I think next season is UV's time. I think next season UV will probably be how people are looking at Envy. Caramel, people are saying, oh, he played so much out, but he's been playing like that for a while now. Like, I don't see how people are surprised with Caramel. He's been good. He has bad phases too. But he is good mechanically. He's one of the best there is. You cannot doubt that. So with Caramel also, I didn't feel surprised with the fact that however Caramel was playing, but definitely Envy surprised me with the fact that his variability in terms of the number of duelists he can play and the amount of pressure he can create on a team. Beautiful. Rishi, the way he reinvented himself, became an IGL, because not a lot of people know before the season, off season, whatever happens. Last season also he played literally without an org. So I think Rishi reinventing himself, beautiful surprise to people all around. I think that should be taken into account. I think Envy's performance should be taken into account. I think personally UV's performance also good. DC, but again, we all expected DC to be good. I don't think DC's performance is a surprise. Personally, I don't think DC's performance is a surprise. I think one player I'm very fascinatingly surprised by is Xeon. Personally, Xeon, I have never heard of Xeon. मैंने Xeon के बारे में नहीं सुना कभी भी. हाय विशाल, थैंक यू फॉर द टू जूल्स. क्या बात है, 4 जूल्स. मैंगो लस्सी एंड समोसा. मेरे को नहीं पता ये क्या है जूल्स और ये क्या है, बट समथिंग मेरे में कुछ चमक के आया. समोसा और मैंगो लस्सी, थैंक यू. मैंगो लस्सी तो साउंड्स अपीलिंग, समोसा तो नहीं यार. But yeah, Xeon, I think, again, a player who kind of surprised me in a positive way, you know. Obviously, I can't talk about the players I like already because I think they will not surprise me. I will already be expecting them to be good, you know. So I'm not surprised with the fact that other players like Golu and all played well, you know. More young players, यार young players में तो ऐसे बहुत मुश्किल है ऐसे बोलना. Personally, I don't see a lot. I definitely think, देखो, अभी ऐसे बोलूँ तो Rinsat I think is the best of the upcoming lot, definitely. And I think if people give him a chance, I think right now is just his agent pool. He needs to work on his agent pool a bit. But apart from that, I think beautiful prospect. I think he's ready to get into a team and do some real damage next season. If he works on himself this off season, I think Rinsat is absolutely very high potential. But apart from that, I don't see a lot of. See, obviously there are young players, but they have not come into the official sphere abhi tak play. So I can't pass my judgment. I can pass my judgment on the people that I saw in an official setting, and in an official setting, I would say pleasant surprises were definitely Xeon. You know, someone I did not know much. Bumbo again, I did not know much of Bumbo as a player, but I think Bumbo did well. Personally, I feel like Bumbo has good potential. I don't know what that potential is going to look like, but I think he has good potential. But Xeon also, I don't know. Envy, that was a surprise for me, you know. So these people, how do you like pick up new talents just for random tryouts? Definitely there are tryouts. There are this is see you need an eye test. So there are going to be like whenever you pick a new player, it's always going to be based on tryouts. Not even new, even if you're playing, keep taking like a normal player who you've coached or played with a long time back, not like recently. You have to conduct tryouts to see if he's the same player or how much he's evolved, how much can he fit into this thought process or this lineup. Because yeah, he played well then, but what about now? So I think tryouts are good. But if you are confident in a player, you can take them without a tryout as well. How do these tryouts work? Normal, normal. Depends. Like if you are conducting a full-blown tryout, then we've conducted during a Grey Fox. By the way, if you can see, I'm ripping Grey Fox today. It's a beautiful T-shirt. It's a beautiful T-shirt we designed. Hi, boy. Tryouts work. So Grey Fox, we conducted a full-blown tryouts featuring 150 or 200 applications. There were more. There were, I think, more, but others were rejected because they did not pass the criteria. In TR, we conducted tryouts for around 30 players, and I have always conducted these tryouts. Even for imports in Greyfox, we ended up trying out so many players. I think we tried out 20 or 15 to 20 players before coming to a final conclusion. Greyfox survey, respect button, respect. Bro, this is such a fine jersey. I mean, not jersey, this is a t-shirt. This is like a merch. It's such a fine looking thing, bro. Yeah. Yeah. This is it as far as this is concerned. I told you, ranked best agent right now is obviously Clove. Apart from that, look at me, boy. How is my diet? Tell me. Do you see? Do you see any difference? See, Do you see any difference? To be honest, none. I cannot. Okay, flare. There is already difference. Even if you can't see it, get your eyes checked. मैं मजाक कर रहा हूँ. But yeah, this is it. We'll be doing more of such content. Personally, I will. Uh, s- People have told me that I think there was a discourse on Twitter or somewhere as well that why don't Indian coaches or in there are मतलब इंडिया में कंटेंट क्यों नहीं है ऐसा जैसे बाहर लोग बनाते हैं वो लोगों के लिए तो मैं बिगिनर फ्रेंडली कंटेंट ज्यादा बनाऊंगा मैं कर रहा हूँ ऑलरेडी भव्य तो अपने पे ध्यान दे अपने पे ध्यान दे तो वही है कि देर इज अ पाइपलाइन जिसके थ्रू हम करेंगे ये सब देर आर वीकली वीडियोज एज वेल दैट वी आर गोइंग टू डू वन ऑफ इट इज बेसिकली तुम लोग सब मैचेस देखते हो मैं भी मैचेस देखता हूँ सब मैचेस देखते हैं तो हर एक वीकली चीज रहेगा वेयर यू विल फील्ड आई विल फील्ड क्वेश्चंस यू विल सबमिट क्वेश्चंस आइदर ऑन द यूट्यूब पोस्ट वाला जो चीज है वहां पे और इवन इन व्हाट्सएप मेरे मेंबरशिप ग्रुप में या कहीं पे भी यू विल गिव मी क्वेश्चंस and I'll select 5 questions and I'll answer that weekly. It should be like whatever tactical based. For example, तुमको पता करना था कि एनआरजी ने समिट में ये प्ले क्यों किया या ग्लोबल ने डिफेंस में ये सेटअप यूज क्यों किया इस राउंड में तो हम वो सब फील्ड करेंगे वो दैट विल बी अ वीकली वीडियो वो वीडियो फॉर्मेट में आएगा वो लाइव स्ट्रीम पे नहीं आएगा वो वीडियो फॉर्मेट में आएगा देयर इज अनदर वीडियो बेस्ड थिंग वेयर यू आर फ्री टू आस्क 5 थिंग्स फ्रॉम मी ये टैक्टिकल क्वेश्चंस हो गए यहाँ पे 5 रिक्वेस्ट दैट यू हैव फॉर एग्जांपल कि तुम एज अ प्लेयर हो तुमको चाहिए कि भैया मेरे को सोवा से इसका ये लाइनअप जानना है मेरे को इस एरिया का यहाँ से यहाँ का लाइनअप जानना है या मेरे को ऐसा एक लाइनअप चाहिए लाइनअप हो गया या मेरे को एक ऐसा एक प्ले चाहिए जिससे कि मैं ये वाला एग्जीक्यूट बेटर कर सकूं या मेरा ये एग्जीक्यूट है इसको बेटर कैसे करते हैं ठीक है तो एक वो रहेगा ठीक है तो एक वीकली वीडियो वो रहेगा एक वीकली वीडियो रहेगा ये एक वीकली सीरीज चालू होगी हमारे इस पे कंटेंट पे जिसमें हम ये सब करेंगे अगर तुमको लाइनअप चाहिए तो लाइनअप बना के वीडियो बनाया जाएगा तुमको कोई प्ले बनाना है या तुमको कोई प्ले तुम सोच के रखे हो तुमको उसको बेटर करना है ये वो सब पे हेल्प किया जाएगा तो ये 2 वीकली वीडियोस आएंगी हमेशा इसके अलावा विल स्ट्रीम स्टफ लाइक दिस एंड विल वॉच पार्टी गेम्स ऑन किक ओके विल वॉच पार्टी गेम्स ऑन किक एंड वो जो किक पे जो वॉच पार्टीज होंगी उसमें से हाइलाइट्स बना के हम यूट्यूब पे जरूर डालेंगे सो देर विल बी अ लॉट ऑफ कंटेंट देर इज अ लॉट ऑफ कंटेंट इन द पाइपलाइन एंड हम कुछ वीडियो बेस्ड कंटेंट भी निकालने वाले हैं थ्योरी बेस्ड वेयर it is not exactly just मतलब it will be very specific to Valorant इस channel पे we are making another I'm making another channel just for games and stuff where you'll see me play games or put game related content anything that is not Valorant related will be put there anything that is Valorant related you will find here basically okay anything that is Valorant and coaching related तुमको इधर मिलेगा जो भी Valorant related नहीं है नॉर्मल है वो तुमको उस गेमिंग वाले पे मिलेगा ठीक है तो यही है अब ये वीकली वीडियोस बट आई विल नीड योर हेल्प please ask me questions that I can answer for okay I'll make sure that I come in advance I'm not here like sporadically या अचानक से प्रकट नहीं हो जाऊंगा I'll make sure that I'm here I tell you guys that when I'm going to log in when I'm going to stream and based on that we'll create these weekly videos okay I'll also put it on Twitter and I'll ask for questions from Twitter as well, from Insta, whatever. And I'll be doing that series. वो हफ्ते में 2 वीडियो वैसे आ जाएंगे एक एक वीडियो समझ लो एक वीडियो और तुमको जो भी वॉच पार्टी तो वो सब की हाइलाइट्स होंगी वो आ जाएंगी, ठीक है, एंड देन देयर विल बी शॉर्ट्स एंड ऑल एज वेल इफ यू think about it. The content pipeline hai. I hope I provide more value to you guys through all of these things. This was a summit ka agent wise breakdown. Okay. If you want summit ka tactical breakdown, we'll do that as well. If you want, then we'll do that on Wednesday. Okay. If you want to do that. Okay. For now, this is it. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Bye bye.